Hey, happy cold and flu season. I don't know if colds have hit your house, but it hit mine like 2 weeks ago. It's finally hit me. But I just wanted to make a quick video. Okay, it's never quick with me, but anyways, I just want to do this video because when you have a busy life and you're tired all the time because you're so busy and you're super caffeinated to keep up with the busyness, in those days, you kind of wish that you could just slow down, right? But you feel like you can't. And then bam, your kids get sick and you get sick. In fact, today I told my husband the goal for the day is to do nothing. I could do laundry. My floors could use a mopping. I could pick up, but honestly, I need to rest because I gotta kick this, all right? My family depends on me. I've already been feeling ill for 2 days. I gotta rest today. And then I'll probably be better tomorrow. We'll see. But in light of that, I had to cancel, a play date, meeting up with some other friends, other things that I felt like I needed to do, had to do in terms of chores and errands. And I just sat and thought last night how in all those busy, crazy times, I always feel like I have to do these things. Like, this has to get done and this has to get done. But when our kids get sick, what happens to us? Most of us just stay home and do nothing. I mean, outside of the house. We'll do the chores around the house. But all that going and busyness, it really can be put on the back burner, when our kids are sick. And then a lot of times when we feel ill, there's a tendency to continue to keep up with the schedule and the busyness while being sick. And all that really does is just make you sick for longer. So I was texting a friend last night and I was like, hey, FYI, we're still coughing our heads off. We can't meet tomorrow. And this verse came on my heart in James 4:13-15. It says, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city and spend a year there and engage in business and will make a profit. Yet you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow." You're just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. So basically, as moms, especially moms, we really, overall, in general, need to slow down. There is an epidemic of overcommitting. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think that some of us were overachievers in school or became overachievers in life, success-driven, ambitious. But what's happened is, in all that drivenness, it's turned us into overcommitters. So we're committing to our friends, and we're committing to ministries, and we're committing to our jobs, and we're committing to this and to that, and to this and to that. And then what happens is the things that we need to be doing are not getting done, at the expense of trying to fulfill all of these demands of mostly other people and things. This year I'm helping with my MOPS group. Well, last year they would love to have had me help last year, but I was finishing up my degree at Summit and I knew I had to write this crazy giant paper, and I just told them I can't. Can you imagine that? Telling someone, no, I can't. Now, physically, could I have pulled off doing the MOPS table leading and going to school and doing my paper? Physically, yes. Emotionally, from doing those things, could I have been the mom and the wife that God calls me to be? Probably not. Because I didn't even have MOPS or anything in the picture at the end. And that paper was like, I don't know. I am an overachiever, although that pretty much went to the altar during writing that thesis, actually. I really feel like God freed me up from perfectionism through that paper because I was so fixated on the grade that I was overlooking all the great information that I had already gathered. And it wasn't even about what I had learned in the process. It was more about the grade. And God just really showed me, like, you've got to let that go. And then I totally ended up with the grade that I wanted once I just embraced what I was doing instead of fixating on the grade. And I think that's the thing that drives us, is we get fixated on the grade. We get fixated on the salary. We get fixated on pleasing people and people's opinions of us. We get fixated on people looking up to us and being the role model and the ideal wife and the ideal mom. Guess what, folks? We need to be an ideal child of God. An ideal child of God. If you want to... I've told this to some people, and even believers, they'll kind of look at me like I'm crazy. You go to Ecclesiastes, all right? This is a great book written by the wisest man in history, King Solomon himself. He asked for wisdom, and God gave that to him and also gave him all these riches. And then he found out that all of that stuff that he did was just going to be left behind. And what he had done on earth was perishable stuff. So he had all this money. But look at these parents who make all this money, put it in a bank account for their kids, because their kids always had everything they needed. They were never taught how to budget and tell themselves no, so then they squander all the money left in the bank account for them. Think about it. And so we set these goals and we're striving for these things. And Ecclesiastes says that this is all grasping for the wind. Like we're reaching and trying to succeed or grasp something that can't be grasped. Grasping at the wind. It's like you're just like this. Grasping. What's another word? Striving. You know, even in 46:10, Psalms 46:10, cease striving and know that I am God. Or it says, be still and know that I am God in some other versions. Cease striving. My heart is to hopefully release moms and women and even dads and parents and everyone. Excuse me, I'm congested still. I just really want moms, especially, because I am one, to be released from all that pressure.
Mom,
to be
open this?
Overcommitted. Yes, honey.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Here you go.
Thank you.
I love you.
Pretty Mom.
As moms, those are our number one priorities. We have to stop committing to things that take our focus off our main priorities. Like for me, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I was recently, a couple years ago, trying to do this business from home. And I was starting to succeed at it. But that became my priority. And so the very reason why I was staying at home to be with my kids was not even being, actualized. No, like I wasn't even being a stay-at-home mom. I was a work-at-home mom being unavailable to my kids. But because I was an overachiever. And this is what I'm saying. We have to learn when we are sacrificing our families, forfeiting our duties as a wife and a mom to our kids for the sake of whatever it is that's diverting our complete attention away from them. You know, there's some women, you have to work. But that time that you're not at work, is it reflecting your priorities? Are you spending time with your kids? Are you taking them to the park? Are you letting them be kids? Or are they always hurried into the car to go be busy and do something else? Are you raising overcommitters? Straight up. Straight up. I don't know where this book is. I have one. I lost it. It's called Simplicity Parenting. This book actually goes into saying a lot of the behavioral problems and issues that kids have is from having a stressful, overly busy, jam-packed life. And so, where do they get that jam-packed life from? Us overscheduling them because we're overscheduling our lives. So anyways, all of that, I don't know if I'm making even any sense, but all of that is just basically being confirmed since I've been sick this week. And my kids were sick, over the weekend. And we have done, really nothing. We had a couple of baseball games of my nephews that we really wanted to go to. But you don't take a feverish, coughing kid outside to a baseball game, right? So we had to just call and apologize and say, so sorry, buddy. We were sick. If you want to, here's one thing I learned from Shilleen Johnson. She's an amazing businesswoman. If you want to stop falling into that trap of overcommitting, when someone asks you, hey, you want to do this? Or can you do that? Or I'd love you to do this. You need to stop before you say, oh, yeah, sure, of course. Because that's kind of, I think, as women, we're caretakers, and men, they're providers. And so anything that's going to help them take care of someone or provide for someone, they immediately want to say yes. But we have to stop and say, you know what? Let me check my calendar. Before I can commit, I need to check my calendar and let me get back to you. How easy is that to say? And then you go home and you look at your calendar. And if you've got 3 busy days on this side and 3 busy days on that side, and that one day that you were looking forward to catching up on your chores, catching up on rest, catching up on something, and having a breather, if that's the one day that someone's asking you to commit to, just tell them, I can't. I think that we think we have to have something on the calendar that keeps us, that's busy work, in order to say no. When really it's no, I have a schedule of, that's my catch-up day on rest, sleep, chores, time with my kids, time with my spouse. That day is booked. We have to look at the things of taking care of our family as important priorities that is legitimate enough to tell other people no. And so we just say, oh, you know what? I can't that day. Period. We don't need to explain. Let me tell you, overcommitters, you need to stop explaining all these reasons why you can't, because those people are talking you into how you can, because you're giving them objectives to overcome. I'm reading this other book, Boundaries. Oh my gosh, they're called aggressive controllers. I know some. You tell them no, but, and then they kind of become whiny. But I really need your help, and you're the only one that can help me. And I have learned to just say, I really can't. And then they'll turn it into, but you said that you would help me. No, I said I would do this part, and I've done that part, and you're on your own for the rest. You start telling these aggressive controllers, well, I can't because, I was planning to take my kids to the park. Well, I'll just meet you at the park and then we can do this. Well, no, I was taking my kids to the park to spend time with them. Don't you stay home with them? You have to spend time with them at the park. You see what I'm saying? You tell them why you can't, and then they want to talk you out of those priorities. So you say, first off, when they ask you, can you do this? You say, let me check my calendar and get back to you. You go, you look at your calendar. Not in front of them. Don't do it. Oh, well, let me check my phone here. Let me see. Well, I'm busy from here and I have these 2 hours. No, don't do that. Go home, check your calendar, pray about it. Some of these things God is calling you to do. But if you don't stop for a second and give it up to prayer and give a minute to think about it and consider what's going on that week already, you're going to overcommit. And so then a day goes by, or later that day, and you say, you know what, I am so sorry. I looked at my calendar. I just can't do that for you that day. I hope that you find someone else to help you. But I got to go now. I got dinner on the stove. I'll talk to you later. Tell me how it goes. Bye. Click. It really can be that simple. So, all this comes from being sick and having to tell people no. And the world is not falling apart with me saying no to people this week. People understand. What's real cool about being a mom is when we make plans with other moms and we call them and say, oh my gosh, my kids won't stop coughing and now I'm sick and we're just miserable. They're like, oh yeah, it's going around. Moms are totally the most gracious people, especially to other moms. I love moms. We're like our own subculture, I believe, because we totally speak the same language and understand. But it's when we start interacting with those single women with no kids, or those, bosses and that are men, or women who just totally have committed to not their family, that they make us feel obligated to them, and we just have to learn to have boundaries and protect ourselves. So seriously, when you make commitments, make it loosely, and usually I'm learning, especially, like play dates or hanging out with people or meeting for coffee, it looks like I could do that next Tuesday, but I'll confirm with you on Monday. Because seriously, between now and next Monday, someone could get sick. I mean, you never know. Just like that verse says, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So when you do commit, if it's not like doctor's appointments and job interviews and work, like the things that you really got to do. When they're the other things, you just kind of leave yourself an option to, if something comes up, you just kind of put that out there. Well, I'll confirm with you on Monday. That's my way of saying something might happen between now and then, so I'll confirm with you that we're still on. So I hope this is encouraging to you. Women, moms, you do not have to do it all. You do not have to overachieve in motherhood, because in all of your ambition, somewhere, somehow, relationship with your kids and relationship with your husband is being forfeited. And you've got to take a step back and ask God, remind me what my priorities are, Lord. Show me what I need to be doing, God, and help me do that. Help me say no to my friends so I can say yes to my family. That sounds silly, right? But it's true. It's a struggle, Help me say no to myself and yes to my family sometimes. There's times you need for you, but then there are a lot of times that a lot of people are putting themselves vainly before their families. And so really, this again comes down to putting yourself before God. Daily. Saying, Lord, what am I supposed to be doing? God, rearrange my priorities, Lord. Speak into my life. I give you my job. I give you my husband. I give you my kids. I give you my workout schedule. I give you my finances. I give you my ministry. I give you my hobbies. I give you my free time. Lord, show me what I need to be doing. What can go out of my budget? What can go out of my schedule? What can go out of my relationships? What relationships do I have with people and friends who are draining me and keeping me from being the fulfilled, life-giving, loving, joyful mom? I'm telling you, folks, it's time to, and it's even this season, because everyone's coming up with their New Year's resolutions. Here's your New Year's resolution. Number 1, stop overcommitting. And number 2, stop having unhealthy relationships. Now, there is a time to have a friend who speaks truth in your life, and then there's a time to have a friend who is just draining you of life. You've got to have discernment to know where to draw boundaries with people. I have to be careful of this one because I want to save everyone. I want to help everyone all the time. See, all this stuff I'm telling you just is stuff that the Holy Spirit is always like, you're overcommitting over there. Oh, don't put that on the calendar because you're like, got all kinds of other stuff that you're trying to do over here for these people. Right now, my family, I'm trying to create this 501c3 organization, and I'm a MOPS table leader coordinator. So I'm over like the table leaders who are over other women. So that's a priority, because what I put into them, they'll probably turn around and put out to their tables. I've got to get my fitness back up on the calendar, or back up on the priority list, because I let school become the number 1 priority, or number 3, before working out. And so I'm constantly saying, okay, what do I need to be doing and what do I not need to be doing? And I just hope that this encourages you. This is more conversational. I wish you were here actually so we could be talking back and forth. But I'll leave you with that for now. Ask God, Lord, what needs to go out of my life and what can I keep? I hope you're blessed today. Bye-bye.